Hey guys, it's Miss Adams, and we're still looking at the Unit 3 test review. We're on to problem 13. So it says, Trent is selling candy bars to raise money for his soccer team. He has been keeping track of how many he has sold. The days since he started selling is represented on horizontal or independent axis, and the number of bars sold is represented on the vertical axis. So that's our dependent axis. Remember, your horizontal axis is your X. Your vertical axis is your Y. If he sold 20 bars on the first day and then 10 more bars each succeeding day, then plot the points that represent his sale through the first 7 days. So, if I'm plotting this, I know my initial value is 20, and it tells me the difference is positive 10. 20 plus 10 is 30. 30 plus 10 is 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm just adding 10 each time. So, it asks us, what is the first ordered pair? Well, on the first day, he sold 20 bars. So, it's going to be 1, 20. That's our initial term. Second day, he has sold 30 candy bars. On the third day, he has sold 40 candy bars. So, it asks us, how many days have passed when Trent has sold 40 candy bars? Well, that's 3 days. That's our third term here. Because if I'm looking at my term numbers here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. If I was to explain in words what the point a sub 2 equals 30 represents, well, that means that on the second day, Trent sold 30 candy bars. Now let's go ahead and plot these points. So I know on the first day, he sold 20. Second day, he sold 30. Third day, he sold 40. Fourth, he sold 50. Sixth day, he sold 60. Seventh day, he sold 70. And the eighth day, he sold 80. So that seventh day, he sold 80. So now it asks us to state the domain. Well, this is a discrete function, so the domain is just going to be a list of values. So in this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And our range is going to start at 20, and it's going to be all of our sequence values, so 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. Does this graph have a y-intercept? No, it does not. The reasoning is because you can't sell candy bars at 0 days. There's nothing happening on the 0th day. Does the graph have an x-intercept? No, because we can't go back in time. So we're not going to have an x-intercept. So we're not going to have negative days. All right, guys, so that was the word problem. Let's look at this final problem. It says circle the relations below that are functions. So remember, there's a few ways that we can look at functions. We've got our vertical line test. We can see if our domains repeat. If the domains repeat, they're not a function. If it does not pass the vertical line test, so if it passes more than through more than once, then it's not going to be a function. So I'm going to circle the relations that are functions. Looking at this first set, I've got 3, 2, 1, -1, 2, -4, 3, -9, 4, -16. Just worried about the x values. And unfortunately, we have repeating 3s, so that is not a function. This next one, we're given a line that kind of goes up and down a lot. But if I were to do the vertical line test, it only passes through once. So this is a function. All right, let's go on to the next one. If I were to do my vertical line test, I've got 2 parts where it passes through. So this is not a function. Then if I look at the sequence, I've got 6, -3, 7, 4, -7, -2, 0, -2. None of my x values repeat. So that is a function. That relation is a function. Going to my first table here, I just want to look at my x values. I got 1, 2, 1 up. We got repeating ones here, so it's not a function. If I go to the second table, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as my x values, so it is a function. And then now I want to look at this mapping. I'm going to look, this left side is my domain, so my x values. The right side are my y values. And the x's can't repeat. So -3 goes to -6, -2 goes to -1, -1 goes to 0, 0 goes to 3, but 1 goes to 0 and 15, so this is not a function. So it asks us to state the domain and range from the mapping diagram, so we're going to use this now to state the domain and range. We've got -3, -2, -1, 0, and 1 as the domain. But realize that this 1 is used twice, but we only have to list it once. And then our range values are going to be our y values. So we've got -6, -1, 0, 3, and 15. All right, guys, that is Unit 3 in a nutshell. Let us know if you have any questions.